everyone, and welcome to Let's Play Minecraft with Solomon Bailey. Tag name online is HaloNick76. This is just the first house that I had in one of my best worlds. Now this is all what once was, because now that they've come out with the bunny update, I'm starting an entirely new world. But we're going to go take a look at what I had built before that, and yep, I went around here and I was exploring and I saw a lot of different areas I could build a house, but I kind of got a little bit fascinated by the mountains over here. And I really wanted to build a house on top of these mountains. So that's what I did. I actually haven't gotten that far into my new world with the bunny update. Oh, here's the staircases. The staircases are here because when you're being chased by googlies, who wants to be jumping up, just to get into their house? But yeah, I haven't gotten that far into my new world with but I do plan on making an actual bunny ranch. But anyway, back to where we are. This is the first house. I wanted to make it kind of a half log cabin, half not, in case the creeper tries to blow it up, which has happened on that corner a bunch. Anyway, I named it Grizzle Adams Estates, or G Adams Estates. The reason for that is because back in the 70s there was a TV show called Grizzle Adams, and he lived on top of a mountain, and his best friend was big old giant grizzly bear. So I kind of named it in honor of that TV show. Now this is a pretty basic house. There used to be more stuff in here. It was rather cluttered at one point, but that's because it was my main house and I didn't have anything else going on. But I'm pretty happy with it. This is the barbecue out here. Just some red brick blocks next to a furnace, but I like to call it my barbecue. Now, the first animal I got a hold of, because I wanted to be able to use their feathers to make arrows, was chickens. And I don't mind the clucking. I could always hear the clucking when I was trying to sleep in Minecraft, and it kind of found it soothing, so I kept the chickens near me. This is the first garden I actually grew. I don't know why my water's freezing up here. There's no snow. Maybe it's the altitude. But this is potatoes and this is carrots, and I got a hold of those in my explorations from a village right about there. I was a little far away, so I made sure that I wasn't running over to that village all the time. This was all before I had the railroad tracks. You see them going in all different directions. We'll get to that in a little bit. But this is the Grizzle Adams Estates, and we will go downstairs and we'll take a look at the actual farms. Oh, while I'm up here, the view up here is actually pretty awesome. There's one of the farms, there's the orchard, and you can see it over here. There's the other farm. But let's go take a better look at those now. So on the new map that I'm building, I have a house, but I don't really have any of my basic essentials yet. I kind of have a tiny farm, but it's really not much. This is a much better farm. Drop it. There we go. This is Willie's wheat fields. Yeah, obviously this is a wheat field. Willie was a guy I worked with. He was pretty awesome, so I named the wheat fields after him. And there's a little hidey hole so that you can take and have everything you need, including the water. Speaking of water, this waterfall came by accident, because I was up there mining that stone, and when I did that block right there, the water came rushing out. And it came running down here, and that's actually how I got the idea for the fields right here. Because if this waterfall was feeding into those fields, that would make a lot more sense. Now the water on this end, it keeps going into like the ocean, and if you see right there, there's a little bit of a cubby hole. The water actually goes to a tiny little lake under there, or a pond. Now, we'll go take a look at the orchard in just a minute. We're going to go over here because this was the next thing I really built, and that is Tyler's farm. Tyler was a guy I grew up with when I was a kid, and he liked animals, so I named the animal farm after him. There's usually more cows in here than I have right now, but like I said, I've kind of abandoned this one for the new update. I grew carrots over here for the piggies right over there. I always gave them a little water because pigs love clean water. Now this sheep pen, I wanted it in the snow, and it wasn't that big at first. It only went to like that dividing point. And that actually got really complicated and hard because I had tons of sheep in here, and I didn't have a lot of room, and I was trying to breed white with white to get more white so I could dye it, or the gray with the gray to have the gray, black, black. You get the idea. Anyway, so I wound up having to expand it and separate the sheep, and I wound up with white and gray over here and light gray and black over there. So we'll go over here and look at the orchard now, which I'm sure you've seen the treehouse over there. We'll take a good look at that in a minute. For all of you that are wondering why I have an orchard, it's a constant supply of wood. I renew it, and I also get apples because I use oak. Now, if you're going to try and do an orchard yourself, because the apples come in really handy and so does the wood, one of the best tips is to have a little pool of water right here next to the sprout when you plant it. They actually grow rather quickly, and you don't really have to use bone meal. Like in Minecraft time, yesterday, this was a sprout. And so was that one. That one was just a sprout yesterday. But obviously, we're underneath the treehouse here. The treehouse is named Tiny Tina's Treehouse before all the explosives. If you know anything about Borderlands, you know that Tiny Tina loves her explosives, and at one point she had to have been a child and probably had a treehouse, so I thought it would be funny to name it after her. Now there's a couple little balconies out here, and there's one out here. But I didn't want just the balconies, so I put this ladder here so you could actually go up and climb around on the top of the tree. Which a lot of people like doing that because the view over here is pretty awesome. I mean, you can see all around you. It's one of the highest points. This tree grew this way in like a day because of the water pool. And I have not ever cut down this tree because it was just such a great tree for making a tree house. So there's Mushroom Island over there. Now we're going to go over to my first Nether Portal I built. Obviously I went ahead and I got obsidian at one point, but I wanted to make a Nether Portal that was really, really high up in the Nether. And on the PlayStation 3 that worked great, because when I would go through the Nether, I would wind up actually in the top of the world where there was just netherrack. And that's what I would do all day, is I would mine the netherrack. It was a little hard to get to, but I wanted that so that I wouldn't have any googlies coming after me. But then again, I also wanted, because I had obsidian at that time, I also wanted to make an enchantment table. So this is where I put the Nether Portal. And I'll show you where the enchantment table is over here, because I actually put them right next to each other. Little jumpy, jumpy, jump, jump. Come on. Alright. Obviously, one of the biggest problems over here was, because I didn't build any of this, this was all structurally the way it was getting up here. And once I figured out the easiest way to come over here, I wound up building, actually, this. This is obviously a Waterfall Elevator. And this is Trevor's Top of the World Portal. Nether Portal. And it's just a basic waterfall elevator. Up we go. Hope I don't run out of bubbles. I never really do, because I made it just right. Now, when I first built this, I had the idea that the nether people would come through, or the nether googlies would come through eventually, and I would put water around it, and it did help to get rid of some of them. When they would come through, they would land in the water and put themselves out, especially like for the fire guys that spin. Can't think of the name right now. But recently, with the altitude and the newest update and moving to the PlayStation 4, my water has been freezing, so it's not working out the way I had it planned. But anyway, let's go show you where I put my chest. Or not the chest, but the enchantment table. Because the enchantment table is right there. You might not be able to see it yet, but I went ahead and did some redstoning, and I made it so that I have a switch hidden inside here to open the door. Now, everybody knows about Jeb doors, and they've seen them before. But I thought it was cool, and I was kind of new to it, and I thought it was fun to do that. So I made this Anna Rose's secret spell casting. Sounded like a witch, so I went with it. And I put all the basic necessities you would need in here. Now it's nighttime, so I'm going to head back, and then we will continue with the Let's Play of this world, because there's a lot more to see. Everybody have a great day, and I hope I see you next time.